The once proud foundations of the Cleveland Browns organization are trembling under the weight of a scandal so profound, so destabilizing, that it has triggered a state of emergency within the highest echelons of ownership. What began as murmurs of discontent has erupted into a full-scale, five-alarm institutional fire, threatening to consume the season, the team's credibility, and its future. The catalyst for this conflagration is not a losing streak alone, but a toxic allegation that strikes at the heart of competitive integrity. The systemic sabotage of their own rookie quarterback phenom, Shadur Sanders. And now, in a move that confirms the gravity of the situation, the Browns board of directors has initiated a covert, aggressive campaign to identify and secure a new head coach, a mission laid bare by veteran insider Mary Kay Cabot's seismic report. This isn't mere speculation or hot take commentary. It is the revelation of a blueprint for revolution, drafted in the secret, panicked meetings of a franchise that knows it stands on the brink of irrevocable chaos. The initial spark was the leaked, explosive accusation from Shadur Sanders' camp following his disastrous, viral emergency start against the Baltimore Ravens. The claims were specific, damning, and painted a picture of intentional failure. 0 first-team practice repetitions, no meaningful timing work with starting receivers, and a game plan so inept and disconnected it resembled a poorly conceived video simulation. This wasn't framed as rookie hardship or coaching miscalculation. It was presented as a deliberate setup. The fan base, already weary of perennial disappointment, didn't just listen, they ignited. Social media transformed into a digital courtroom, with the coaching staff standing accused in the court of public opinion. But the true earthquake occurred when Shadur himself, in a post-game press conference that reverberated across the sports world, confirmed the essence of the leaks with raw, unfiltered honesty. He spoke of a lack of preparation, a void of chemistry, and a system that felt foreign. In that moment, the narrative didn't just shift, it inverted. The rookie quarterback became the sympathetic, wronged adult in the room, while the veteran coaching staff was cast as bumbling, if not malicious, architects of his failure. Mary Kay's report, however, was the detonation that confirmed the shockwaves had reached the owner's suite. Her sourcing, known for its direct line to organizational intent, revealed that the board was not merely concerned or monitoring the situation. They were actively, repeatedly convening in private meetings with one urgent agenda: to identify and vet candidates for the head coaching position. This wasn't idle contingency planning for the offseason. This was crisis management for a present-tense existential threat. The report laid bare a stunning truth. The internal reaction to the sabotage narrative was not annoyance, but profound, shareholder-level embarrassment. Ownership perceived the scandal as making the franchise appear weak and dysfunctional, an image it finds intolerable. The board, according to insiders, is treating the matter as a full-on emergency, recognizing a perfect storm of fan revolt, player division, and relentless national mockery. To understand the depth of this crisis, one must look beyond a single game. Insiders suggest the rot set in weeks, perhaps months, before Shadur ever took a regular season snap. The offense was reportedly a battleground, a realm of internal Cold War, where factions clashed over philosophy, control, and the future. On one side were coaches advocating for a modern, aggressive approach built around Shadur's unique dual-threat talents to unleash him early and ride the electricity of a new-era quarterback. On the other were voices insisting on caution, a rigid, traditional structure, and a slower developmental path, perhaps influenced by loyalty to other quarterbacks like Dylan Gabriel. This was not healthy debate. It was a power struggle that fractured the coaching staff's unity. The Ravens game was merely the explosive public manifestation of this schism. When Shadur was hurled into the fire against a playoff-caliber defense with none of the foundational work afforded to a franchise cornerstone, the board's members were described as livid. They saw not a rookie understandable struggles, but the catastrophic result of a broken process. The sabotage narrative took root not from a shadowy conspiracy, but from the visible, tangible outcomes of this internal dysfunction. A quarterback conspicuously unprepared by the very structure designed to prepare him. The fallout has been multidimensional and devastating. 1. The locker room fracture. The team's chemistry, that intangible but critical element, has been poisoned. Players are now forced into implicit allegiances. Social media tells a telling story. Key veterans and star players have publicly liked posts supporting Shadur, reposted his practice highlights, and issued cryptic messages of solidarity. One player's post, "We know what the problem is," became a rallying cry for fans interpreting it as a direct indictment of the coaching staff. When the locker room's allegiance visibly pivots toward the rookie quarterback and away from the coaching leadership, the infrastructure of authority crumbles. The staff now faces the impossible task of commanding a group that doubts their competency and fairness. 2. The fan base in open revolt. Cleveland's passionate fans have not merely voiced displeasure. They have launched a movement. Chants for Shadur echo in the stadium. Social media is a continuous scroll of number free Shadur and criticisms of the coaching scheme, and the emotional investment has pivoted from hopeful support to furious demand for change. The board, acutely aware of business implications and civic relationship, sees this revolt as a direct threat to the franchise's economic and cultural standing. They recognize Shadur is not just a player. He is a cultural phenomenon, drawing national attention, celebrity endorsement, and a level of engagement reminiscent of the Baker Mayfield early days. To squander this goodwill is seen as a business failure of the highest order. 3. The national embarrassment. The Browns are no longer just a struggling team. They are a league-wide spectacle, a case study in mismanagement. National analysts and former players' voices the board respects and fears have universally panned the handling of Shadur. Legends have gone on record stating, "You can't mishandle a franchise quarterback like that." This external ridicule solidifies the internal fear of being perceived as a laughingstock or a dysfunctional franchise, a tag that hampers free agency, executive recruitment, and league standing. The board's perspective: crisis, betrayal, and the mandate for change. From the boardroom, the view is one of breached trust and monumental wasted opportunity. Insiders report a profound sense of betrayal, particularly over the issue of transparency. The coaching staff allegedly provided one account of practice rep distribution and quarterback development to the front office, while the reality on the field and later, in viral video evidence, told a completely different story. Ownership felt blindsided, left to discover the truth from public leaks and player comments rather than from their own football operations. Furthermore, the board is reportedly fed up with a perceived strategic inertia. They watch the rest of the NFL evolve with modern, tempo-based, quarterback-friendly offenses while their own scheme is described by sources within the building as predictable, stiff, and outdated. The analogy that cut deep was the claim that using Shadur in this system was like driving a Ferrari in first gear. This encapsulates the board's frustration. They believe they have assembled a roster with elite defensive talent, dangerous offensive weapons, and a strong offensive line, a roster capable of competing deep into the playoffs. The singular failing, in their view, is a coaching philosophy that refuses to adapt and is actively stifling the team's most dynamic asset. The leaked practice videos of Shadur torching the first-team defense were a pivotal turning point. These clips showed everything fans craved and the board expected: deep shot, accuracy, anticipation, poise, and superstar flashes. These videos served as incontrovertible proof of concept. They dismantled any remaining narrative that Shadur wasn't ready or was the problem. Instead, they spotlighted the coaching staff as the impediment. The standing ovations Shadur received from fans at practice following these leaks sent a powerful, unmistakable message to ownership about where the public's heart lay. The secret search, blueprinting a new era. Thus, Mary Kay's report exposed the activated response. A clandestine search already in motion. This is not a passive list-making exercise. Insiders describe the board moving aggressively behind the scenes, asking around the league about availability, and narrowing down a list. The profile of the desired candidate is explicit: an offensive-minded leader, a modern schematic visionary who specializes in developing young, dual-threat quarterbacks. The board seeks a coach whose philosophy is built on concepts like fast tempo, creative spacing, RPO integration, and shotgun efficiency, the antithesis of what Shadur was subjected to. The names being whispered, though unconfirmed, are telling. They range from hotshot young coordinators currently engineering top NFL attacks to former head coaches with proven records of quarterback cultivation, and even to big-name, offensive-oriented legends currently in media roles who might be lured back to the sidelines for such a project. The very act of making these behind-the-scenes inquiries is a signal to the league that the decision is, as one source said, already halfway made. The timeline is fluid but urgent. The ideal scenario may be a structured transition at season's end. However, the board is reportedly monitoring the situation on a week-to-week basis. If the on-field product continues to flounder, if the locker room tension visibly boils over, or if another public relations disaster strikes, the move could be accelerated dramatically. The leash, as described, is not just short, it has been severed. The trust is gone. The stakes. A franchise's crossroads. The Browns now stand at the most critical crossroads in recent memory. This is no longer just about winning a few more games. It is about defining the identity and trajectory of the franchise for the next decade. On one path lies continued entropy, allowing the current leadership crisis and locker room divide to fester risks a complete cultural collapse. A disillusioned Shadur Sanders, a fractured roster, and an alienated fan base could set the organization back years, cementing its reputation as a place where talent and hope go to die. On the other path lies a deliberate, aggressive renaissance. The board's secret meetings are a gambit to seize the latter, replacing the head coach with a true modern offensive architect and unequivocally building the entire organization around Shadur Sanders' transcendent potential could be the catalyst for a dramatic transformation. It is a recognition that they possess the rarest of assets in professional sports. A young quarterback with the talent, poise, and marketability to be a franchise cornerstone and a cultural icon.